We've all seen the classic Hollywood cowboy who could take the dangerous and deadly .45 caliber 6-shooter revolver and make it float like a butterfly. We're going to learn how to spin 6-shooters today, but first take a second and subscribe to the Rhinestone Roper channel and leave a comment. Tell us what of the classic Wild West arts you would like to learn about. All right, strap your rig on. Let's get to spinning guns. In order to spin guns, first thing you need is a gun. Now, what kind of gun? The whole purpose of spinning guns, the reason people like it, is because it's nostalgic. It reminds them of the Old West, and not the real Old West. It reminds them of the Hollywood Cowboys like Roy Rogers and Gene Autry and Hopalong Cassidy and maybe Clint Eastwood. And if you like the bad guys, you like Johnny Ringo. It's the only thing that makes a difference in gun spinning, since it's entertainment, is what the audience thinks. And what makes it easy for you to learn your trick. There's different lengths of barrel you can get. This is the standard length. It's I think they call it 4 and 5/8 inches. We spin what we've got. But if you're going to buy a gun for gun spinning, you probably want a longer barrel because it might make a difference to the audience. If it looks like you're spinning a Derringer, and you might be really talented, but people won't think it's that neat because they know a .45 caliber revolver with almost a 5-inch barrel is heavy. You can get a long barrel on these guns, but really that's not what Roy Rogers used, and no one cares. As long as it's a certain length, no one cares if it's longer or not. It might make it easier to balance if it has a longer barrel, but it is heavier. What model do you want? I spin Ruger new Vaqueros. They're made in the style of the Colt, and that's what everybody is thinking about is the Colt. And I like the Rugers because they got a nice wide trigger. That wide trigger is pretty easy on your fingers. You can spin that gun for a long time and it won't chew your skin up. Another question you're going to have to face is, what holster do you want? This is a Hollywood style rig. I think they call them a drop loop because you got your belt and then the holster leather fits in a slot right there and hangs straight down from the belt. But the thing that makes this good for gun spinning is that straight ledge going into the holster. It's not coming out and going down. It's right there. It's nice and smooth. And it goes in there good. Guns are not made to spin. They're not balanced for spinning. We learned to spin these guns because they remind us of the Old West. So the motion is a small circle with your hand, pulling that heavy barrel around in a circle. There's many ways to spin a gun.
Which is the best way?
What I'm telling you is as good a way as any, and better than most.
The method I use is my finger straight and my trigger finger bent. As you're spinning this gun, you got to keep that middle finger, keep it back out of the way, and at the same time, bend your trigger finger forward, and if you can bend it and bend that knuckle right there, then that's perfect. Now, I can do that with my left hand. I can't do it with my right anymore because I injured this finger. You can still spin a gun like this, but if I could bend that finger just a little bit, it would make the gun more secure on my finger. That's the position I'm going for gun spinning right there. Some people spin it with their middle finger. Some people spin it with their middle finger and bend these two fingers and keep this finger straight. They got more flexible hands than I do. Is there a right way to do it? No, there's no right way to do it. There's no gun spinning police that come and stop your show and tell you you're doing it wrong. And frankly, The audience isn't going to see any difference if you're spinning with your middle finger or your forefinger. And they won't even notice whether your fingers are bent or not. They won't notice. That means it doesn't make any difference. It only makes a difference if it makes a difference to your performance or if the audience cares about it. Here are some basic gun spinning moves. First is the forward spin. Tuck the barrel back, straighten your fingers out, throw it forward. When you want to stop the spin or reverse it, your gun is coming around. You throw these fingers down, catch the barrel. Catch the barrel right there and push it back up. As you're spinning, you look down and you got a wobble, sideways wobble in your gun. That means you're not going straight forward with your circle. That means you're wobbling with your hands also. So as you practice, you don't have to spin it very fast, especially to begin with. But you do want to take a look and see if you got a wobble in your gun. If it's wobbling sideways, like that right there, there's a wobble right there. Means you don't have a true circle. There we go, that's good right there. So we got the forward spin and the backward spin. And you want to do both. The next step is in and out of the holster. Now you take it out of your holster, you can spin it backwards. Or you can take it out forward. The most reliable way to spin your gun back into the holster, doing a forward spin. Stop there with your finger and spin it backwards into the holster. If you do that, you can always stop it in reliably the same spot and spin it backwards into the holster. You always know where it's at. It's much more difficult to spin it backwards and take it straight in the holster from a reverse spin. Although it's possible. A forward spin, you're kind of stuck with doing it forward. The only thing is, you're spinning it out here, you have to get it past your holster, either above it or out around it, to get it back in. And all these moves, if you can do it simultaneously with two hands, that's most impressive. Another kind of gun you can spin is a replica of the .45 caliber revolver. Now the replicas, they make replicas that are non-firing, but they still have the action and the cylinders that spin. Replica guns are not any easier to spin than these are. And I know people who spin them, and they're excellent gun spinners, but they live in California where pistols are not welcome, or maybe in New Jersey. But I will say that even if you're spinning a replica, you still have to treat these guns like they're real, like they're loaded. There's a couple reasons for that. One is we want the audience to see us as the cowboy who is handling a dangerous weapon and making it look graceful. If we treat them like toys, then they won't respect us for that. And if you're using real guns, you know, in a show you might have nothing in the gun. You might be using blanks or balloon busting blanks or wax bullets, or if you actually use your gun, say, you might put real bullets in it. So really what that adds up to is you have to treat your gun at all times like it's loaded. Never point it at anyone, and don't play with the action. You know, cocking your gun, anyone can cock a gun. It doesn't take any skill to do that. You know, that doesn't impress anyone, and people can't see you doing it anyway. But I guarantee if you use your gun for many purposes, there's going to come a time, if you play with that action all the time, you're going to slip, and that gun is going to go off. Hopefully it won't have a real bullet. Let's talk about a few tosses. The basic toss is spinning the gun forward, stopping it right there, and pitching it in the air, letting it spin one time. Catch it right there. And as you come up, you can lift it with those fingers. All right, those are the basics of gun spinning. Have a good time, and as always, subscribe and share, and press like, and leave a comment what you'd like to learn, any questions you have, or any opinions you have of things I've said. I'd be glad to hear them. We'll see you later, and check out these other videos also. We'll have more videos on gun spinning, videos on horse training, all with an eye towards performing for your audiences. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.